Yesterday we were talking about this, how our Brahmin, that hermit, and the elder, the leader of this religious group, sent young Ajita, ascetic Ajita, to find out whether the Buddha was the real one. To ask the Buddha mentally, and let the Buddha answer verbally. Then it is definitely Buddha. Such was the method given to young Ajita. So while sitting at the fringe of the audience, because the Buddha was giving a discourse, young Ajita asked, what is the head? What is meant by meaning head? And what is meant by beheading or decapitalizing? So Buddha said, not understanding the Four Truths is avijja head. Avijja, or which is like the head. That means not understanding, ignorance, not simply unknowing and knowing wrongly. That is avijja head. In the Nama-Rupa process, which is flowing like a current, continuing from one existence to another, one has the body, and the head of the body is compared to the head. The head of the body is compared to avijja. And these wholesome mental states, cultivating or possessing these wholesome mental states, namely Saddha, Chanda, Viriya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya. Saddha, faith and confidence; Chanda, zeal, desire; Viriya, energy; Sati, mindfulness; Samadhi, concentration; Panya, wisdom. Means beheading. If one possesses these wholesome mental states, this is as good as beheading, or this means beheading, or losing one's head. Out of these wholesome mental states, Panya is the criteria. So if one substitutes this Vijja, knowledge, or Panya, in place of ignorance, then this ignorance will have a chance to arise in your stream of consciousness. It is quite clear. So that is what we discussed yesterday. Then if the head is cut off, the Vijja head is cut off, then you don't need to do anything else. You don't need to cut any other part of the body. If you cut the head of the body, that's it. You can accomplish your purpose. So when these avijja, ignorance, simple unknowing and misconception are cut off, then we don't need to deal with other parts. Hence, the avijja head is a criteria in the samsaric suffering of rounds of births and rebirths. And cutting off this suffering of the round of rebirth is possessing or cultivating vijja or penya. In a sense, avijja is like cataract. The person who is suffering from cataract will not see clearly. If the cataract is at the early stage, and a very early stage, then one will not be clear in a little way. If the cataract has grown to some extent, then one will not see to a certain extent. One's dimness or lack of clarity will be to some extent. And if the cataract is very serious, in a serious stage, then one will not see at all, or even if one sees, it will be very dim and cloudy and unclear. So when one looks with cataract, then one will not see clearly. Though one may see, one will not see fully or correctly. One may see wrongly. So avijja is like that, cataract. If this avijja is thick in layers, then one will not know the truth. One will know wrongly. If one does not know rightly, then one will know wrongly. That is wrong. That is bad. That is not commendable, because it is akusala, unwholesomeness, unskillfulness, like cataract. As for the one who sees clearly without any cataract, then one can travel safely, can reach a safe destination without harm, without danger. As for the person with cataract, he or she will not be able to do so. He or she may fall down at one time or another. So, if one can see clearly, it is good. If one cannot see clearly, then one may become addicted to views, wrong views, such as holding the view of individuality, with a distorted view of believing in an abiding self or soul, such as taking as person being individual man, woman, you, I, he, in place of, with respect to the realities of mind and body, which can be experienced directly. One may hold the view of, or one may believe in, the existence of jiva ada, individual self or soul, which exists in everybody, which is said to exist in everybody. It may be large or small, depending on the size of the body. For instance, in an ant, the jiva ada, individual self or soul, is very tiny, small. In an elephant, it will be large. So it has its powers also. It is said according to their text. It has its powers. That means it causes these activities such as seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, and so on. When it asks you to see, it will see. You will see. When it asks you not to see, then you won't see. So Atta is asking you, giving you command to see, hear, taste, touch, and so on. And also, it is said to be permanent. Though the body may break up, the body may perish, it doesn't perish. It lives on in another body, in another new body. In this way, one may become addicted to such views. That is not knowing the truth, knowing the wrong way, by which one becomes addicted to such views. Now, who governs this individual self or soul? Paramata is the headquarters, the supreme self or soul, supreme being or creator, which is controlling the jiva ada. It controls, it governs everything, whether it's living thing or lifeless thing, non-animate or inanimate things. All these things are in its hands, that is in the hand of this Paramata, supreme self or soul. It governs everything. If it asks to live, then the Atta, the individual Atta will live. If it says die, then it will die. And also it also knows everything, all-knowing. There's no two supreme beings. There's only one Paramata supreme being. And there's no happiness, neither happiness or suffering. There's no pleasure nor suffering. There's no form. Thus it is quite unclear. Thus is how it is said, mentioned in the text about Atta and Paramata and Jiva Atta. All views may arise in one who doesn't see the truth or seeing wrongly. One will become addicted to such views. You are not able to sustain your mindfulness of every arising, mind and body arising, at the moment of their arising. With the method of Satipatthana, way of mindfulness, one will not be able to concentrate one's mind and cultivate insight, such as the knowledge of mind and body. If one is not able to do so, then one will not discern mind and body. One will not be able to discriminate or differentiate between this is the body or noted object and this is the noting mind. This is the mentality. And if one does not know mind and body in this way, then one will hold the view of person, being, individual self. So, man, woman, you, I, and so on, by which one becomes addicted to the view of self or soul, jiva, atta. Then, again, if one is not able to become aware of the conditionality of the psychophysical phenomena, mind and body, as they arise, then one may hold wrong view of causelessness, that there is no cause. Then if one is not aware, fully aware of the linkage of the relevant cause giving rise to relevant effect, then one may take false view of causelessness or fictitious cause view, such as everything is caused by the Supreme Being, Parama Atta. Then one will become addicted to such views. Views will enter the stream of consciousness so that it becomes deluded. If one believes wrongly, then one will know wrongly. Both of them are not commendable. If one is not aware of the truth, then one is bound, one is sure to know wrongly. So first of all, according to down in the books, one should be able to know that there is such a thing as mind-body, physical phenomena, mind and body, and they are linked by way of cause and effect. And then one can cultivate insight knowledge to know the nature of mind and body, such as the discernment of mind and body, the conditionality, and the universal characteristics, such as these mind and body are not permanent, they arise and pass away, and whatever arises and passes away cannot be satisfactory, and whatever is not satisfactory cannot be self or soul. It's ungovernable, uncontrollable, they arise on their own, at their will, not your will. There's no such thing as atta, self or soul. So, gradually, by stage, you need to become aware of the nature of mind and body in this way. And once you become aware of the truth, there will be no wrong knowing, no wrong views. If one knows the truth, there will be no wrong knowledge, and your wrong views will gradually fade away and become clear. Whoever wishes to realize the benefit in terms of this knowledge, to know the truth, if one wishes to do so, one cherishes the practice, one cherishes to cultivate knowledge or to know the truth, one will come to appreciate. There will be the intellectual appreciation first and foremost, that to cultivate insight or to cultivate knowledge is good. In this way, one will come to acceptance, and one will come to believe, having faith and confidence. Then one will have the zeal to possess such valuable things. If there is no faith, then there will be no zeal, chanda. In this way, one should understand theoretically from book knowledge the value of knowledge. Then one will have belief in it, faith in it. Then one will have zeal, chanda, to cultivate knowledge by stages. And later, one will be able to exert one's energy in order to undertake the practice. There will be courageous energy to practice at the risk of one's body and life. Then one will exert this ardent energy, Anapana, in order to note the rising object at the moment of their arising, not to miss them. And as much as one exerts energy, one is bound to sustain, activate one's mindfulness, not to miss them without missing. And whatever arises will be noted. So, respectfully, carefully, if one does this practice respectfully, carefully, and meticulously, attentively, one is bound to cultivate knowledge within few hours, even a few days or a few days. But as for some yogis, even if they have been practicing for more than a month, they do not know how to practice mindfulness. Some Sayadaw at times he thinks like that. If only he could undertake this practice himself for you on your behalf. But it is not possible to do so. As is given in the quality of the Dhamma Paṇḍitā, one must practice by oneself in order to realize the benefit of the practice by oneself. So it is difficult. So with the sustained mindfulness, one is bound to concentrate one's mind. One will intensify one's concentration momentarily. And as much as this concentration becomes intensified, one is bound to see things in their true nature, such as the discernment of mind and body. That this is the mind, this is the body, this is the noting mind, this is the noted object, and their conditionality. And then the universal characteristics. In this way, one will be able to come to possess discriminating knowledge or wisdom in respect of the nature of mind and body. In this way, as much as you are able to cultivate these wholesome mental factors, namely saddha, faith and confidence, chanda, zeal, viriya, energy, sati, mindfulness, samadhi, concentration, you are bound to cultivate knowledge in abundance. So, until you are able to come to this progress along the path to reach the stage of liberating wisdom, experiencing the ultimate cessation beyond the arising and passing away with the path consciousness. So, seeing and knowing, noting and knowing dukkha satya, the truth of suffering, that means everything which arises in your mind and body, or the truth of suffering, you are knowing the truth of suffering, dukkha jnanam, knowledge of dukkha. Once you know the truth, the avijja will be gone. As the saying goes, vijubhada avijja nirodho. Once there is the light of wisdom, the darkness of ignorance will disappear. As the light comes, darkness will disappear without you having to do anything about it. Once you know, the unknowing will be gone. So once you know mind and body, you'll be able to discern mind and body, then there will be no unknowing, no ignorance, no wrong view, addiction of wrong view to view of jiva atta, self, individual self or soul. Once you are able to become aware of the conditionality, then you will be free from the view of parama atta, supreme self or soul, as karaka deity, that is the being, the supreme being, which is commanding in every action. This view also will be gone. And once you see the impermanent nature of things, the view of impermanence, the view of permanence will be gone. And once you see the unsatisfactory nature of things, then the view of pleasure will be gone from you, stage by stage. And the ignorance, avijja, which will arise if you are not mindful, will be gone because you are mindful. You will not have a chance to arise in the stream of consciousness. In this way, the avijja head is gone, beheaded. Unless you are able to cultivate this insight knowledge, then the arising and passing away, be able to understand the mind and body and the arising and passing away, the arising and passing away will come to cessation. That is what is beyond arising and passing away, coming to ultimate cessation. That is moving from pavata to abhavata. Pavata, process of mind and body, such as seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, will become non-process. That is abhavata, the reverse of process. That means there will be stoppage, ultimate cessation of this process. Then this will come to cessation with the cultivation, with the attainment of path and fruition, knowledge of the noble ones. In this way, the avijja head is said to be cut off, and there will be no wrong views. In this way, you will not fall into the states of loss. You are said to become free from the apaya-related avijja. This is another kilesa, impurity. You become free from the apaya-related impurity as far as avijja is concerned, because ignorance is one of the impurities, or main impurity, because this avijja head is cut off. So you'll be free from falling into the states of loss. This is what is meant by saying that you're worth living as a human being. And even if you become reborn as in the human world, in the Deva world, you will not live more than 7 existences after this first path. Thus, you are free from some samsaric suffering as regards this apaya-related impurities, because this avijja head is cut off, especially the apaya-related avijja, which is most important in this suffering of wrong of birth and rebirth. Such is what the Buddha has said after his enlightenment in Asia. So this is how one gains the benefits with the practice. Such is the value, such is an Asian value. Just to give a moral or an example, let's say when we are sitting down from standing position, there is this intention to sit down in stages, followed by the actual sitting process to the body or weighs down or comes down, the weight of the body coming down gradually, stage by stage, as a result of the intention to sit. So at that moment, as mind and body are occurring in pairs, they are all dukkha satya, the truth of suffering. At that moment, if a dedicated yogi is able to sustain mindfulness with appreciation, respectfully and carefully at the moment of this, their arising, then one is bound to see the mind and body clearly. This is seeing clearly dukkha satya, the truth of suffering. As much as one is able to sustain mindfulness energetically and proper focusing precisely, then with mindfulness where you are exerting energy, and also this jhanic factor of absorption, vitakka, aiming, the factor of aiming, then as much as you are able to sustain mindfulness, you are bound to unify your mind so that your unification of concentration will come to exist. And as much as you are able to unify your mind, you are bound to see this intention to sit and sitting process in stages and in pairs, and seeing the mind and body different, being able to discern mind and body. And then the conditionality, the cause and effect in stages, that there is such a thing as a linkage of mind and body. That is the noting mind, the knowing is the mind, and actual sitting is the body. So there is this relationship by way of linkage. So if you are able to do it attentively, you will become aware of the dissolution of this psychophysical phenomena. Seeing the sign of impermanence, you come to become aware of the truth. Once you are you're aware of the truth, then there will be no wrong knowledge. Because you know the right thing, there will be no ignorance. Both the abhidipari avijja, simple unknowing, and mithyapadipari avijja, misconception, will be gone. So this is what happens in the course of your insight practice. Lokiya Vipassana practice, mundane, worldly insight practice, which you are all doing. And this is how you start out with. Later on, as you come to the maturity of insight knowledge, you come to see the You come to understand the two kinds of avijja, Abhidipati avijja, simple unknowing, and Vichapatipati avijja, misconception, and to the point of no return. They will not come back again to you. This avijja will not come back to you. They've gone to the point of no return. And when you're able to attain the final path of arhanship, then there will be no trace of avijja at all. Avijja head is totally cut off, so that there will be no consequent craving, tanha, or upadana, clinging or grasping. And you are free from these kilesa impurities. Neither will there be any kusala, wholesome deeds, or unwholesome deeds, akusala, which will cause you to be reborn into new existence. So there is no kusala, no akusala. Only when there is kusala, akusala, good action, bad action, will there be the result of these actions, initial result and continuing result. There will be no vipaka, the resultants. So that because one's body of existence, you don't need to do anything about any parts of the body of existence, because the head, avijja head, is already cut off. So this samsaric suffering, samsaric body will not be alive again. In those days, people like Maori Brahmin had attained this Janalavi. The Janalavi, they are the ones, hermits or ascetics who are in possession of jhana, absorptions, even to the extent of possessing abhinya, supernormal powers. And one may ask, don't they have knowledge in order to possess jhana and abhinyas? Yes, of course, they did have some knowledge, but their knowledge extends as far as Kamasakara Samadhi, that is the right view of Kama and Kama results, that taking that good begets good, bad begets bad, Kama is one's own property. And then this kind of knowledge of the truth is there. They are able to possess this kind of knowledge. Then they possess the knowledge, the right view of jhana samadhi. Samadhi, the right view or right understanding, accompanied with jhana and kama samadhi. These two things. They did possess these two things. So when Buddha came into enlightenment, with the existing kama samadhi and jhana samadhi, there came about this Vipassana samadhi, the right understanding of insight. That is one is able to see, to understand the realities of mind and body and the universal characteristics, such as the right understanding or right view of insight, Vipassana samadhi. So in this sasana, in the dispensation of the Buddha, there came into existence these samadhis, such as Vipassana samadhi, right understanding of insight, mega samadhi, right understanding or right view of mega path, and phala samadhi, right understanding or right view of phala fruit, and Pichvakana samadhi, right understanding, right view of reflection, Pichvakana. So they only exist in the period of Buddha's sasana, not otherwise. And that's how the Buddha answered, made a reply. So it's only in the realm of sasana there are these four kinds of the samadhi, right view, right understanding. So just imagine Just look at Bhavari Brahmin. A person who had attained this jhana, mundane jhana, and abhinyas, was afraid of losing his head. So just imagine that, just look at that. And there are, of course, other examples which can support such views. Last month, Sarah touched on the subject of just with the Chintamaya Jnana, Sudamaya Jnana, and Chintamaya Jnana, knowledge by learning and knowledge through thinking, one cannot penetrate the Paramattha, the ultimate realities. One cannot understand the mind and body, their conditionality, not to mention, not to speak about cultivating insight knowledge through the process of by stages. So, you can remember these things which were given last month.